Going on, guys? I gotta make a quick video about this series so far. Tigers' backs are up against the wall. I said the Tigers were gonna win this in 4. Now we're hoping to God we can play this one in 5. Teams that go down 2-1 in the third game after being tied 1-1. 38 times that's happened, and 30 times the team who's won Game 3 has won. I mean, right now, the season is potentially over. Just right now, just because of you're down at this deficit. It's extremely hard to come back and win those 2 straight games. Oakland almost did it to us last year, and we had that great Game 5 pitching performance by Justin Verlander. But it's going to be an all hands on deck effort. If the Tigers are going to win this series, here's what they got to do. First, Austin Jackson has to start getting on base. My goodness, he cannot get on base to save his life. He's been racking up K after K after K. I mean, he's not getting on base at all. He is the catalyst to the offense. He needs to be on base. Remember at the start of the year when the Tigers were just simply outslugging everyone? Him and Torii Hunter were getting on base more than anyone in baseball as a 1-2 combination. And right now, Jackson's not seeing the ball. And over the last 2 months, we've seen, especially after he come off the DL. When he first came off the DL, we saw a really red-hot Jackson, and then poof, he dies. Now we saw a hot Jackson again towards the start of September. He dies. I mean, he has not had a consistent stretch of baseball like he did in the first half in a while. He has to start getting on base. He needs to start laying off those breaking balls in the dirt. He has to. Because he keeps striking out the way he does, the Tigers are going to lose. Secondly, Miguel Cabrera, guys, he's not Miguel Cabrera right now. He's hurt. I mean, he's hurt beyond what I thought he was hurt. Even at a hurt Miguel Cabrera, we saw when he was playing during the Mets, when he was on that one last big red hot streak, he was still hitting the ball with good power. I mean, he was making it look easy, even hurt. But I think he has re-injured himself since that day since the Mets series. That was the last time he was really hot. Since the Mets series, and I think it's just gone unnoticed, unsaid about. He had an injury. And it's even worse than it was before. And his bat, his bat speed's still pretty good, but he's just using just this upper half of the body. There's no drive with the legs, no complete follow through, just getting a bunch of force and just really driving the ball out of the ballpark. You just see him flicking the ball into the outfield, flicking it off the outfield wall for, he can't even run that fast. So for a double, if he really had his legs underneath him like he typically does, those balls would be home runs, but he's just using his upper half of his body because he can't really drive with the back injury, the groin injury. I mean, he's banged up. But we need some kind of Miguel Cabrera to show up the next 2 games. And Prince Fielder, oh my goodness, he has been one of the least unclutched players I've saw since putting on a Tigers uniform. I mean, he has not had a good series. He had a big hit today, but and then V. Mart and Grant Balfour nearly get into it. And MLB Network's probably sitting there going, oh, man, cut the mics, guys. I mean, because him and Grant Balfour were sitting there exchanging F-bombs out the crazy. I mean, F you bitch, and everything else. I mean, holy crap. I mean, that got escalated quickly, but Balfour did. He settled the Tigers down. He set them down relatively easy, besides the Avila walk. So what are you going to do? I mean, you think that was going to build some kind of momentum towards, potentially winning that game, but it didn't. Because we saw the Tigers come back from some big deficits the night before this year. And then you also look at, what else do they need to do? They need to play Johnny Peralta in left. If Delmon Young can play left field, Johnny Peralta can play left field. You need his bat in that lineup right now. I love you, Jose Iglesias. I really do. He's one of my favorite players on the team. But putting Iglesias at short and Dirksen left is not going to work. You got to keep Iglesias in there because he helps out Miguel Cabrera. Because Cabrera's hurt and his range sucks. I mean, he booted a ball today. It wasn't completely his fault. But you got to keep Iglesias in there to help out Cabrera. And you got to have Peralta's bat in there somehow. And you can't put him at short. I'm sorry. Peralta. Peralta's going to win that battle even if he is bad at left field. I'm sorry. It's not like Andy Dirks has won 9 gold gloves out there. He's got a Torii Hunter resume out in left field. I'm sorry. You put Peralta out there. He had a big hit today, a game-tying hit. And then Torii Hunter, I got too much rag on him. He just needs to lay off that breaking ball a little bit more. Can't really rag on the bullpen that much. I mean, sure, they gave up the walk-off win, but what are you going to do? I mean, Porcello, you got handed a bad situation, so you can't really talk too much about the bullpen. I mean, Game 1, Benoit struck out the side and ended it easily. But the offense has to score. They have had 2 innings the entire series where they've scored. Game One, the first inning when they got 3 runs off of Cologne, and then I think in the 5th inning today they got 3 runs. You have to start getting hitting with runners in scoring position a bit better, and this all comes back down to this. Jackson not getting on base, a hurt Miggy, Prince being unclutch. I mean, it's been Vmart and Peralta. You know, Peralta's had 1 game in the playoffs so far, and he has more RBIs and bigger hits than anyone else who's played in the outfield this year in the first 2 games of the series. I mean, that's just why you have to put Peralta out there. You have to have his bat in the lineup. I'm sorry. I mean, I don't care if people are pissed at him for taking steroids. I don't care. He's better than Dirks in the outfield, and you have to have some kind of offense in there. I mean, the Tigers' offense has been atrocious this series. I mean, absolutely atrocious. They come out and knock 3 runs off of Cologne like it was nothing in the very first game. And all of a sudden, like I said, it was just game 1, the first inning, and then they had 3 runs today. And they've had 6 runs in 3 games. I mean, it's not like the A's are killing the ball. I mean, today, Anibal Sanchez wasn't that great. You know, he was leaving fastballs up in the zone. He hung a couple bad pitches. What are you going to do? I mean, it's not a great time for him to have a bad start. No, but it happens. You know, they have to start scoring runs. Your pitching's been great. They spoiled the gem that Verlander twirled. And all those people, Verlander's going to suck, blah, blah, blah. He could easily start a game 1 with that damn performance. He has been money his last 6 starts. Scherzer's been great. You have to hope my man, Dougie Fresh, goes out there tomorrow and twirls a gem, because you have to give that ball to Scherzer in game 5. I would give it to Verlander because you know what he did last year, Game 5. But you're going to go Scherzer again. I guarantee that's what Liam's going to do. He's not going to change up his rotation. But you have to hope Doug Fister comes up, shows up tomorrow, keeps the ball in the yard, the Tigers' offense shows up, Cabrera hits for some kind of offense tomorrow, and that the Tigers get some hits or runners in scoring position. Because if they don't, the season's over. It's over. And if the season's over, I can only imagine what kind of scrutiny is going to come down on Leland's head, what kind of scrutiny is going to come down on this team looking forward to 2014, because this team was built to win the World Series this year. This year. And if they don't do it this year, and they get bounced the first round, some heads are going to roll. Now, am I going to agree with Leland getting fired or some personnel changes? I don't know yet about the decisions. I wouldn't want to see Leland get fired, but they have to do something now, because they are in the brink of getting eliminated. Right now, they just got hit by Mike Tyson, and they're twirling. They're about to fall on the pad and get knocked out for the 10 count. That's what the Tigers are right now. They're twirling. They got the daisies floating around their head, and they need to wake up. You put Peralta on left out there tomorrow. You got to hope Cabrera shows up, Prince shows up. You got to hope you get some hits, runners, in scoring position. You got to hope Dougie Fresh twirls a gem, because you need to get that ball back in Scherzer's hand for Game 5. In Oakland. I mean, you have to pray. You have to hope. You didn't want it to come down to this. You wanted to win today so you could end it tomorrow. But the Tigers right now are just playing awful. Awful, awful. They can't hit runners in scoring position. Their offense is just dead. I mean, they've been playing pretty good defense for the most part, but I mean, their pitching staff's been good besides Anibal's bad start today. I mean, they've been playing good enough to win games, but their offense has just been terrible. It's been piss poor. They can't get hits, runners in score position. People, like I said about Cabrera's bat, it's just gone cold. Fielders on clutch. I mean, you gotta hope tomorrow it changes and then it goes. You can get the ball into Scherzer's hand for Game 5. That's all I gotta say, guys. Tigers are in some trouble. You better hope they show up tomorrow or it's over. Well, yeah, they'll be eliminated, but you better hope they show up. And they continue and do it in Game 5 as well. Go Tigers.